Hello everybody. We are here for the last session of the Tactical Urbanism online workshop. We are Paco Gonzalez and Ethel Barahona, and the network design process for DreamHammer is led by Ecosistema Urbano.
So let's start.
We're going to do the same strategy as always, using the screen for the presentation, and in the middle we can exchange some comments and ideas. So let's go.
Okay.
Well, we want to start with this quote by those architects, which says, "Play the city, design the process, and ensure a great outcome." The idea of playing in the city will be the start point of this presentation, where we are going to talk about some case studies selected by us and some case studies selected by all of you,
the participants of the workshop. So participation, it's a word used a lot, and we are presenting here a quote by Hans Ulrich Obrist from the Did Someone Say Participate book, and we are focused on tell that we are not discussing about participation with the old school way. We are focused on new ways of participation, like spatial practices and so on.
Yes, by the way, the network design process, it's by itself based on participation. That is the relationship with the online workshop of Tactical Urbanism.
And in the same way, we have recovered this quote by Agatha. I'm going to try. Tuchlevitz Diceanac. Sorry. That store target DreamHammer network participation is a working in progress space, and it's inspiring, and a very good point of it is that DreamHammer have made new connections between people, not also for objects or furniture or something like that.
Yes, by the way, we have been taking a look to all the participants' posts, and that's why we take this quote by Agatha, because we were really impressed by all of your participation. So, well, before going on, thank you for doing this and working so much and so with so inspiring posts and research.
So we are going to replay and remix the four categories today to show you the four first projects we pick on the first session, and trying to explain not only their main categories, and we are going to do the same with your projects, not only focus on one category, trying to connect them with other projects or other participants, and so on.
Yes. Well, the first tag we use, as you remember, is narrative storytelling. The second one is community collaborative. All of these tags we will not spend our time explaining again. It's just a reminder to understand the projects later. The third one is archive documentation, and the fourth one is peer-to-peer design and networking.
So we come, how can I say, we back to the future and show you again La Commune de Paris, this project from Rasputin that remembers us the 1871 direct government of the city from Paris, and we picked this project to show you that it was storytelling, and also we think it's like an archive because it has selected some image from the past, and it has some kind of network design because you have they have involved people with the QR codes at the streets to get them to the web, and the narrative the narrative stuff of this project, it's behind all these images. So
we want to say also that maybe some of the projects we're presenting today sounds familiar to you, but we were thinking that it can be a good experiment if we have mentioned them in some post or in a brief note in other presentations. But now that we have gone and understand the 4 tags, we can have a deeper sense of the interconnections and relationships between tags. That's why maybe, I don't know, 1 or 2 of the projects maybe sounds repeated, but we want to make you think about the interconnections and relationships between the 4 main tags.
So the next project is the Golden Heart Pavilion.
The Golden Heart Pavilion, it's a great example of community and collaborative project. It was done in Israel in a village called Ein Haud, and they used to have a covered space to meeting and reunions, and in one somehow it disappeared because the government doesn't allow them to have more this space. So FAST, which is an architect group, designed this pavilion. But the most important thing about it is that even if it was a close design, because it was done by the architects, they give the project and the plans and the object to the community. This is, here you can see the community is a small, really small village. So for them, it was really important to have a place for meeting and make artistic events, meetings, and whatever. So they can keep the object as it is inflatable. They can take out the air and save it, and every time they need it, it just go there and put it again. So it's a great example about collaborative and community work.
Yes, and I think it's also like have you said, tell networking, but we can tell you this project without some documenting working, like the image we are seeing or watching, or another way. Okay, it's fine. As the same, we are repeating again a catalog of street art techniques from the G Canyon in a crack. So we put this on documentation and archive, and we also want to show you that it's not only documentation and archive, because
it's also network design.
But I'm going to the G Canyon have made through internet to two guys from New York City, and they have used the app instead of developing a new app for this project. They have made an agreement, and it's a kind of networking, because if there is an internet, you can maybe they haven't do this project, and this the part of archiving we told you at the first session at the website. But At the same time, it's some storytelling because they have talked with a lot of people and documenting through videos and photos and testimonies about what's the meaning of this street art in the city of Milano, and also how can I say, documenting. It's the main category. And the next project,
the do-it-yourself balloon mapping kit. It's a project about open peer-to-peer design and network design strategies, because it was done using digital tools, but then after all these sessions that we have went deeper in the other categories, we want to share it now as a collaborative community and even archive, because in the website they have all the case studies that the projects they have been mapping with this kit. So it's a wonderful project when you can have the kit and get with your friends or with partners, associates, wherever you want, and start mapping some parts of the territory that are difficult, that have difficult access. So from there you can start mapping and researching the territory. It's a good example also because it has we don't have a category called activism, but it's very
or do it yourself.
It's really related with activism because their first main and big project was mapping the split in the Mexican Gulf, and even big companies like Google Maps have learned from them. So we can see how when you start a do-it-yourself project with network design, with so many minds thinking at the same time, you can even make bigger projects than you think.
And go further.
Yes, go further and beyond.
So I think it's a good moment to
make a pause. Yes. Hello all there. Wait. No, go on, okay. Please.
The blog is full of great things. Hi, Urska.
You put the perfect quote for this part of the presentation.
Because we are going to show you the participants' research. We are very proud of this part and the work in progress proposals that we are going to show later, and it's very amazing to learn from participants, and we think it's the main objective, personal objective from Ethel and I to learn from you, and not only to give you knowledge. We think that it's important that the exchange of knowledge makes altogether, I don't know, better, bigger,
and goes beyond.
And goes beyond.
Beyond even beyond the workshop and the ideas for Hammer, the research documented here, it's really valuable. So we want to say thank you and also present some of the projects, because we have also imagined that not all the participants have the time to go from project by project by project. So maybe we can have here a big overview of all the, not all, but mainly all the material that the participants has researched and shared.
So
Urska is asking about any comments before going on?
Comments or questions or answers?
Sí, yes. Maybe, I don't know, Silvia, Agatha, Hasem, Fabrizio? Not yet?
No.
Okay.
Later. So let's go again to the screen mode. 3, 2, 1.
0.
Go on. We're happy. So,
Thanks, Sylvia.
thanks. Participants research. Sorry?
Yes.
Guerrilla Bank from Matthias Lecoq.
Matthias is our, we already talked about him in the last session, but if in case any missile, Matthias is our participant that cannot be in the hangout because he don't have a good internet connection, but he's participating with the research, proposals, doing posts, so we want to share these projects that he has researched.
So his main thought with this Banco Guerrilla is to show us a project that perfectly works with the activism and participation idea that public space needs public furniture not only for being buying and shopping at the street, and a way to fight against that privatization of the public space. It's making some calls about how we can act in the city, and we can show you a video, but following the link and following our keynote when we upload it, you can see a magnificent video about guerrilla.
By the way, I just want to comment one thing that we find curious this morning with Paco, that the project is shared by Matthias, that is in the middle of the forest, but this first project has been done by a group from here, from Barcelona,
yes,
where we are based, and we didn't know the project. So we want to remark the approach of the internet archiving research, because even if we physically are closer, without the participation of Matthias, we will maybe never know this project, or maybe somehow in the future, but this is a good thing about working online all together.
And
the Burnside Skate Park, it's a skate park located in Portland. I don't know if you remember in the session 00, the extra one, the first one, we talk about Folly from the Flyovers, open cinema in the down a bridge. Now this skate park also reuses the space behind a bridge in Portland, and we think it's a very interesting project about community, collaborative, and participation too. So even these spaces that are almost all of the time abandoned and in very bad with a very bad use, only full of waste, these people thought that skaters may do a good use of it, so they work to give them this space that it's amazing.
I think to community tag is a good tag for this project, but also at the beginning you can read that this kind of intervention at the city has been represented on video games, and this is a reason behind the capacity of storytelling of this project, because no project without a story behind it will be inside a video game. Mm-hmm. That it's a very very close work to make stories, because you are the, how can I say, the subject, the protagonist, and also community, and also its storytelling and narrative.
Here are spaces of the park. Even the skating has always been related with the storytelling. I think we have here in Barcelona the square in front of the Museum of Modern Art, but also we can see in Skatistan a project about skating used for educational purposes. So it's a wonderful how can you make a sport or a leisure activity transform it into this.
And we can think that it's only for some kind of projects of USA or Northern Europe, but Hassem is telling us at the chat that in Egypt there's a cultural hub under a car bridge like this. It's amazing, and we encourage you, Hassem, to try
some images
from this cultural hub. The factory outdoor gathering place via University of Limerick from Javier. How is the
Yes, I'm not if Javier Buron is here on the chat. I think not yet, but they have shared this project in the blog, and it's amazing because we also in every of our cities it's very common to find abandoned spaces between buildings.
And trying to start with some image like an architect to trying to tell a story, a utopian story of some kind of little park in between the buildings. You can go to the reality, and you have to work with the community of the environment.
Yes. Environmental community
the community of the place, and you have to put your hands on the work and try to do things like this, a place where you can sit and talk like a speak corner. That it's a very good place to share stories and tell some narrative ways of communication with the community, not only walking down the street and say hello, but if you have a little place with this configuration, you can make assemblies, tell the children stories and tales, and
yes, you just new uses for public space. And also another thing that is really interesting about this community collaborative category is that mostly all of the examples we have works as an example of swarm intelligence, because there is not a proposed leader to guide all the process. It was organized with like a living organism. People take care of one of the work, some people from another, and they are all interconnected. So it's a very good example about how communities can work in a closer relationship with the concept of swarm intelligence.
And the next project is very, very communicated, and it's via Hassem, and it's favela painting. How can we say about this? It's a way to involve the community or the collective behind a neighborhood, showing them that things can be improved, or things can be going better with a very simple way, using colors at the cityscape and facades of buildings. But also later we are talking about that it was a documentary and archive process, because we can visit the website and you can see which people is involved, and what cases are developed, or are in process. So
it's also a perfect example about the difference and relationships between community and collaborative, because the project started with only two people, an artist and a musician, and they start painting the first facades, and because people in the favelas didn't know the advantage of painting their facades, so they don't believe so much in the project. But as they started, and the inhabitants have the sense of having a better place, a more clean space, they start getting involved, and the community has grown and grown and grown, and you can see images about, I don't know, maybe 30 people painting the hundreds of meters of facades.
And I think it's a very good example for, like have you said recently, of networking. We always in Europe and USA try to think about the technology behind open peer-to-peer and networking and so on, and some digital tools, but I think we think also that open peer-to-peer design it's behind this project, because without people and without collaborative way of working, you can do this like the way they have done it. Sorry.
Public Space in Pieces is another project uploaded by Matthias, our participant from the forest. And it's a wonderful project because, well, by the way, it's similar to some recent project uploaded by Sylvia about the concept of pieces and how you can make a big project with small pieces, like in network design. Small and single minds thinking and designing work really good when they are all together. So we can see the project was about to improve and make a festival in public space, and it was an ephemeral event, but people were involved because the artist put the pieces, but people can make use of the space, can move the pieces, can transform the words, and can really interact. So it's also an example about community, collaborative, and participation.
I like from this project the anonymous sense because there's no logo, there's nothing about what is it. They are pieces of cardboard joined together with paper, and some of them are drawn and other not, and people walk in between them and think, what is this? This is public space.
Yes, Hasem is saying that it reminds him the Basurama work, and yes, it's the same. We have the have here in Barcelona Basurama making some interventions in the Magba Square again, and it's the same thing, the same sense, anonymous but collaborative at the same time, and interacting with the space and people. By the way, simply enjoying the space while playing.
Like
just playing.
And street art in Vienna is from Via University of Limerick. Students from Javier. Javier, sorry, today I haven't forgot your surname. Sorry, Buron. So it's more or less like the street art techniques, but in another place that we forget every day. It's on the floor, and people have to look and to think about things we forgot every day. We can walk through the cities and we really don't have sense with the city, and this kind of message of storytelling narrative to collective and to involve and think people from across the line to feel made.
It is a wonderful project because sometimes when we walk the streets, our streets and our city, we are always running. We doesn't take the time to look at the city, to smell it, to listen to it carefully, and this is a small intervention that just make you like the city is yours again, because you can read it, and maybe just this kind of a small message can make you stop and slow down, and all the sense behind the message, all the reactions that people can have while reading it, it can be wonderful, because it's not only what you read or the artistic intervention, it's the reaction that provokes on the inhabitants.
It's a good moment to think about collective. We
Yes.
are always talking about communities, and it's not the same for Adele or for me to read this, because we belong to different collectives. She's a female, I'm a male. We can read this sentence and think different things, and it's this happens with all the spaces and the problems and the advantage of the city. We are very different. We belong at the same time to communities and collective. We can pass through one to other, so that's the way. And I think that again it's a good moment to
Take a rest.
take a rest, come back
To the camera.
to the camera, and hello again.
Hello again. By the way, it's not the same when we choose projects to share than when are your projects the one that are shared. So we want to know if you have any comments. Maybe we have interpreted the category different than you, or you can see a different category in any kind of project that we have not seen. So we would love to hear from you, to know which project of these you like more or interest more. So let's chat a little bit if you want. Some comments?
You are very shy today.
Yes. The chat of the last session was huge, and now you're like shy.
So
Any comments?
Finally, Hassami is telling us that
The activism tag.
I like your proposal to add the activism tag.
Yes, I think the activism tag, well, I suppose we agree, but I think that is related with mostly all of the 4 categories. Because it's deeply related also with participation, with the act of taking back the street and the public space. So, and we have talked a lot about this as a motivation for tactical urbanism. So,
And it's like participation. There's a lot of debate about what activism means or not, because sometimes it's linked to negative
yes, connotations.
And we think activism is related to action. If you can make an action in a city, you are an activist. No, it doesn't. You can be 80 years old or 40 years old, male or woman, migrant or legal citizen of a place, but if you make an action in a city, you are activism. You are. I think it's the way that did someone say participate define practitioners. It's a way to how can I say
To approach.
to approach
Yes.
to approach from other point and not being always discussing about what is it, what is
Yes.
what is better, what is worst.
I think that we have not talked too much about activism because we try to focus on the store target case. But for example, we know that there are a railroad very close to the square down to the lake in the lake side. So it could be interesting to know which kind of activism or participation it provokes in the citizens.
Yes.
We haven't researched that. Unfortunately, we have still time. But when you have abandoned places and in a special position like the lakeshore, it could be interesting to know how it can provoke the participations of the citizens and make a fluxus through the square to a store target or something. I don't know, just thinking out loud.
And Hassami is asking us if activism is the same like participation. Well,
Well, you or me? Sometimes yes and sometimes not.
I think formal participation it's not like activism, because formal participation has been freezed by governments everywhere in our world. You have some rules to follow. You must complete these rules and these laws, and it disconnects the real participation. So against this kind of formal participation is the activist
I think I can
community.
do, yes, I can do
Yeah.
one sentence. I think that participation is not always activism, but mostly all activism always include participation.
I think it's a good
Maybe
sentence.
it's a way to complement your explanation.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
But I was trying to explain that we always think in dual mode. You can tell formal participation one of the nodes, and in the other end of the line it's activism. It's like a state of art of what the words means today. And activists say, okay, we are not doing participation, and I think they are doing participation.
Yes.
But they want to confront the formal participation. So I think the way to go further and beyond this kind of dual game, it's thinking in network
design as a kind of participation and also activism, because you can propose new things for places or situations that are not working good.
So we are looking at the
Fabrizio, you blame me as a bad activist. We like that, and we love even more to have you here.
So
Okay.
we can continue.
Yes.
And go to the participant proposals.
We're going on with the presentation.
So let's look. Don't minimize this and go on. So, sorry. We want to share this intervention from Susana Isabel, that she has a new job, I think it's so, and she can.
She wasn't able to come to the sessions and to participate in the Google Hangout design sessions, but at the very first post she shared this project with us, and even if it's an existing project, it was really linked with her idea about how to use the buildings in the ring of the Store Target Square.
And it's very important that all little pieces of work have their importance. Sometimes you can step down a project or a process and you think, okay, I haven't done enough, but all pieces matters.
Yes,
So
all pieces are really important in this process.
And we want to show you this intervention from Susana to bring other interventions, like the concept from Matthias Lecoq of a community garden in Stortorget. And we have watched and seen at the blog that it's an idea that is going
Further, yes.
further in Dream in Stortorget and Amar, and I think it's because it's very linked with all stories of the town, from agriculture, from fishing, from
Yes, urban farming is a concept that is being revisited nowadays, because with the lack of public spaces and proper uses of the public space, people are, and also with the increases in food prices, people is starting thinking again about urban farming, also as a kind of leisure to educate children, to spend time for the old persons, old people. So it's a concept that is really alive, and we love that Matthias is also being very coherent with his personal livings in the forest, and propose this so related with nature to improve the Stortorget Square.
And there's two things. You have to document how to show a children or a people to make a how can I say
Cultivate.
To cultivate, okay. And there's another way to share this kind of project, that it's in a narrative way, that you have to be with a group of people and tell them, okay, this kind of
tomato it's better than the other one.
and you have to be together, and there's a community process behind this kind of projects. And okay, the four tags, four categories are present here, and
this is a mix-up.
Yes.
About Sylvia's latest contributions to the blog, and I don't know, we love it beyond the graphics that we already love, but we're not going to stop in the aesthetics that are wonderful, but the idea of pieces in the first post about the puzzle, I think it's the representation of the meaning of network design. We are here all together, putting and sharing small pieces that maybe can be the configuration of a big project or a bigger proposal for a Stortorget, with different ideas, a work in progress, as Agatha pointed in her quote. So it's a wonderful approach to the final proposal, to go in to make the homeworks that Francesco sent us yesterday.
And I think Sylvia is going crazy at the chat, because they have posted this from an hour ago, and at the last moment we have picked down
We have rescued the material.
So I think it's today I'm going crazy with storytelling, I think.
Yes.
Okay.
It's your favorite category, I think.
Yes. I think it's a good way to tell people what is going on at Dear Mama with the puzzle draw. And in the right of the image, I think these two draws from below, round excavated seats with snow melting system. It's okay. It's only a diagram, but people can learn and can understand what is behind this, because there's snow, there's some cities that melt down the snow, and they configure a path to walk on the street and on the square at the winter time. That it's a thing that have been how can I say, preocupándonos,
worrying us
at the online workshop.
By the way, we love to read Silvia's post because she took in consideration some other things that we think are included in the main 4 categories, but maybe we haven't referenced them. So it's an expression of your own research. She talks about dimension, legibility, variety, comfort, and all these things are really or deeply related with the use of public space. So we love how the research and your own proposals are going beyond about the presentations we do. That is the idea from here. Maybe we can exchange some case studies with you, but Paco and I are learning a lot reading your proposal. So this exchange is a perfect example about network design and network thinking.
And Fabricio is telling us that the lower right is similar to a sketch of
one of his students.
And and that's networking, because one idea belongs to everybody, and the important thing is to make things happen.
Yes, open peer-to-peer process.
So then we are going with
Hassem
proposal. Like he had spoken with Francesco, he loved parametric design. And we think this is related with very related with the last proposal, because they are working with
diagrams,
heat and the snow, and it's very important, the isolation. And this is a diagram, a formal diagram that it's very related with architects. And we think it's a good point to focus on this project. That
I think it's wonderful how Hassem is giving us the topography to improve some of the other space appropriations proposed by other participants. So all the proposals can be remixed and reused, and we cannot keep one as the best. We have here the cityscape to make some informal uses of the space that are proposed by other participants. So it's a wonderful way of remix and share our ideas.
And the story that I was trying to tell is that it's very important, the material things. The comic from Silvia, it's a good way to show, but it has been done with the material, like sun, like the floor, and it's a good way to develop the project from Store Target to make proposals being real. Mm-hmm. And we wanted to show that kind of realistic approximation that solar analysis can be. And at the same time, like the beginning, we wanted to talk about this like a diagram. We really don't know what is going on that hills and down hills. Mm-hmm. But it's very related with this kind of conceptual diagram that has been amazed Tel and I the last 2 days
by Sara
Armento, because she has done our work.
Yes, don't say anything, eh?
So what can we say about this? At the left of the image, there's a very huge process of analysis from all the content we have shared at the all blog, not only online workshop from Tactical Urbanism. She has the main concepts, and she has remixed it because she talks about experimentation in the city, swarming intelligence behavior, interaction between different nodes, and from micro to macro. And then she developed some other categories different from
the main four.
From the main four, and we are again amazed that she has told us, because people can learn can read this and say, okay, there's a lot of letters, but at the right you can see stories behind these concepts.
Yes,
and
storytelling completely. Well, no, as Paco was telling, we are really amazed because we can recognize here not only the main four categories, but also some expressions used on the online sessions, on the open lectures. So we can see that Sarah has done a really deep research, mixing all the information we have, the chats, the open lectures, the posts you wrote, the research done by you, but also the research done by us with the case studies. So it's a really big work about how to make network design, how to analyze and interconnect ideas. And this is I think it's a really great proper example about network design here in our own blog of Dreamhammer.
Yeah.
It's
because there's not usually when we make projects, we think an idea and we go behind this idea all the time, and here we can see a very huge rhizome of ideas, of concepts, of interactions, of people, of communities, of what they are going to make, some chairs or parties, or a very storytelling concept that the ring is a big hug for the community of Amar. It's amazing. So we have the same question as always: what will you do in the starter get? And we are going again to
the last 5 minutes of the online open lecture. We want to exchange some ideas again before going to the hangout, and then discuss there deeper. So the main point that you have been developing is what will you do in a starter get. So this is the topic we're going to talk today in the hangout, to try to have a closer idea to develop in the final presentation.
And we want to share questions. Not only you are going to ask, we are going to ask you about what is going on in your process, and we are going to make rounds. In each round, each participant have to make a question. The first round will be for us, and the second round will be question in between the participants. So, like always, you can comment at the chat. And
fortunately, we have also Urska helping us. That it's a great advantage because we can read the comments, but she keeps reminding us the important questions if the chat goes further up and down. So we want to make this last session a really networking session. That's why the the questions are not only for Paco and me. We want you to have a conversation, keeping the order because it's a small time, 1 hour, but making an approach of design network, exchanging ideas using the Google Hangout.
And just for remember, I'm going to try with
to remember what you need to present for
the next days. Francesco has sent you an email. Sorry, I'm going to screen because with some suggested task for you participants. You can do a post for dreamhammer.org before Thursday the 3rd, and you can send an idea or project for Store Target at the 10th of November, and finally 1 week later you can send a video, more or less 3 minutes, to express
your ideas.
So we are going again to the camera and wait for some comments at the chat, and we are reading
Yes,
what is going on in the chat.
Fabricio is telling that he has some concepts on the project, but without the webcam he cannot show it here. But we were talking about exchanging ideas in the Google Hangout when we have the webcam. A video in public space. Yes, that's a wonderful idea, Sylvia. So you can, I don't know if Francesco is referring to that, but it's a reversion, a critical point of view. If instead recording you explaining the project, you can record what you want to happen in the public space. So I think all ideas are welcome here. Anybody else want to comment something before going to the Hangout?
We can share the links of the post of the 2 last projects we have shown. And okay, I'm going to take this time for. I think Ethel and we are very proud to be here in this process. The first thing is thanking Ecosistema for considering us as director of an online workshop. We have a great effort to show the state of art of what we think it's
the current projects
of tactical urbanism, and I think it's very important to how can I say destacar? To remark that the work we have done, it would be impossible without the help of Urska and Francesco, and without the encourage of participation of
all of you.
Yes. And it's your turn.
Yes, no, well, I just want to say thank you. It doesn't sound like a big goodbye because we're going to see us in 5 minutes in the other. And we will keep in touch and keep the conversation alive with the mailing list, and you can count with us in the process for the presentation of the final material. So just to say thank you again, and if you like, as Fabricio was saying, some of the projects presented today, we will upload the presentation in a few days.
Yes.
So you can consult this in the Dreamhammer blog. So now, see you in 5 minutes in the other window. Bye.
See you. Bye. Thanks.